Today we are driving the 2025 Mercedes-Benz C300 4Matic, but as always, let me give you a brief tour of the car before we get it out on the road. The C-Class has the typical Mercedes-Benz key fob. It's very high quality and it looks very nice. Overall, the C-Class has a very subtle exterior design. You get a mostly blacked out Pan Americana grille with a chrome bar in the middle as well as a wired Mercedes logo. There is functional ventilation at the bottom and the headlights are going to be fully LED. Of course, you'll find a smaller Mercedes-Benz logo on the hood, and moving around to the side, you get 6 different wheel options for the C-Class. This particular model has the 19-inch multi-spoke alloy wheels, which are an extra $600. The mirrors will have heating, blind spot monitoring, and power folding. At the bottom, you will find body-colored trim, and there's also chrome accenting the door handles. The C-Class has the typical sedan silhouette, so nothing really special is going on here, but that is going to give the rear as much headroom as possible. The back wheels are going to be exactly like the front. Those are the chrome accents on the door handles, and you get chrome surrounding the windows. At the back, there really isn't a ton going on. You get fully LED taillights, all of your badging is going to be finished in chrome, and at the bottom you get fake exhaust pipes. Overall, the C-Class is a pretty good looking car. I like all the chrome and the fully LED lighting, and the subtle design theme kinda suits it. The trunk lid is power operated as standard equipment, and you also get the hands-free function. Inside the trunk itself, you get 12.6 cubic feet of space. There's also a cubby to the left side as well as a hook on both sides. You also get a good amount of space underneath the floor, which is kinda surprising in a sedan like this. There are 2 buttons to close up the trunk. You can just close it or you can close it and lock it so that you don't have to fish out the key fob. Let's go ahead and check out the interior next and see what you get on the inside of the C-Class for about $53,000. There is smart entry on all 4 doors, which is a very nice feature. And on the door panel, you'll find soft touch plastic on the upper part, some leather red trim through the middle section, some ambient lighting, and gloss black. I also liked how they worked in the door handle with the brushed aluminum trim. There is a good amount of storage at the bottom. The seats are made of leather reds and they will not be heated. You cannot get that on any model, in fact. In the back of the C-Class, there is a sufficient amount of legroom and headroom. It is a little bit hard to get in and out because the door cutout is a little bit small. There's a seatback pocket, which is good size, and the seatback is going to be finished in plastic. In the middle, you get 2 storage cubbies and 2 vents, and when you pull down the armrest, you get a phone holder as well as 2 cup holders. The average C-Class player probably will not be using the second row too much, but it's good to know that there really isn't a ton going on back here. Here's a little peek of the front from the back, and let's go ahead and check out the front of the interior next. There is no soft close on the C-Class, which is to be expected for this price tag. And taking a look at the front door panel, you will find basically the same materials. Soft touch on the upper part, leather red through the middle, some ambient lighting and gloss black, and you also have 3-person memory seating on every model, which is kinda surprising. There's a lot of storage at the bottom, Mercedes-Benz on the door sills, and the seats are going to be made of leather reds. You can pay extra for real leather, and you can also pay extra for ventilation. This one comes standard with 10 ways of power adjustment as well. Let's go ahead and start it up. The steering wheel is going to be very nicely leather wrapped and heated. You get paddles on the back, and keep in mind that you will have to pay extra for steering wheel heating. The gauge cluster is fully digital and has tons of customization. I've always loved the amount of customization you get for the Mercedes-Benz gauge clusters, and for the C-Class that is no different. We're just going to keep it in classic for now because that is personally my favorite. One other cool thing about the gauge cluster is that when you put the car in drive, it will actually show you what gear you are in. I also love the Mercedes-Benz shifter. It's so easy to use. Push down for drive, push up for reverse, and that'll bring up a high-resolution backup camera. You will have to pay extra for a 360 view, but you do get a wide angle in case you are parked next to a large car. This car can also park itself if you click that button. To put the car in park, you're just going to push the end of the stock. Let's check out the main infotainment system. This newer UI from Mercedes-Benz is very nice and easy to use. It's very responsive and you get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. In this comfort menu, you can turn on seat kinetics. That is going to move the seat a little bit at a time to keep your body feeling fresh on a long road trip. You can also automatically have the steering wheel heater turn on when you turn on the heated seats. Of course, in typical Mercedes-Benz fashion, there is a lot for customization as far as ambient lighting is concerned. You can adjust the brightness, the effects, as well as the color. The automatic seat positioning is also going to adjust the seat based on your height. The climate menu is going to be in the infotainment system. Mostly it is going to occupy the bottom of the screen, but if you need to do things like turn on your steering wheel heating or adjust the modes, you will have to click a separate button. Under that, you have various different controls. You can change the drive mode, and there is also a fingerprint reader next to the hazard light button. That is going to load a few settings like the media, the seat adjustment, the mirror adjustment, as well as the steering wheel height. Now let's take a look at storage. Under this glass black trim, you will find a wireless phone charging pad, a USB-C port, a little cubby, and 2 cup holders. You can also bring out those little arms in case you have a smaller drink, and you can do so just by clicking the buttons right there. In the center console, you will find a decent amount of space as well as 2 USB-C ports and felt lining. But now let's go ahead and take the C-Class out for a drive. It just started raining on me as I was sitting in the car, so it is going to be a rainy test drive. Alright, we are driving the 2025 Mercedes-Benz C300 4Matic. This is currently the cheapest Mercedes-Benz sedan that you can buy, starting at $48,450 US. This car, as tested today, is $53,450 US, so we have an extra $5,000 in options. If you want 4Matic, you will have to jump up $2,000 as well. Let's discuss the powertrain. In the C-Class lineup, you get 3 different powertrain options. The C300 has the base powertrain, which is a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo. That makes 255 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. That is mated to a 9-speed automatic transmission, and you get 24 miles per gallon in the city, 33 on the highway, and 28 combined. That is pretty good for an all-gas sedan. Now you can also jump up to the C43 and the C63 SE Performance if you want extra performance. Those cars are definitely going to give you all the performance you need, especially the C63. Now for city driving, the C-Class would be an amazing daily driver. It is not very big, measuring in at 187 inches long and 74 inches wide, so it is going to be very easy fitting in tight parking spaces as well as tight roads. You also can zip in and out of traffic very easily because of this car's dimensions. Bigger cars, like something like the S-Class, are still very comfortable to drive, but they're going to be a lot bigger than this car, so they might feel a little bit more cumbersome. The turning radius is also amazing, and the ease of use inside this cabin is just great. Climate controls integrated into the screen are not always easy to use, but the C-Class has constant buttons at the bottom to adjust the fan speed and the temperature, and you really have to bring up the climate menu. There are enough physical buttons, and the infotainment system is not going to be a distraction. Also, some cars have really weird shifters these days, but Mercedes-Benz made a very good shifter and is very easy to use. We are about to join the highway, so we're going to get some highway driving impressions and continue the city driving in a little bit. I also like the amount of customization you have inside this cabin. Of course, it's not going to be anything like the S-Class, but you have a bunch of different trim options for the center console as well as what is on the dashboard. You don't have to get that open pore wood trim if you don't want to. You can get a glossy wood trim or a completely different kind of trim. And also, I really like that you can option this how you want. If you don't need ventilated seats, you don't have to get it. If you don't want a heated steering wheel, you don't have to get that either. I don't know why you would not want a heated steering wheel, but it's up to you. You can also choose if you want to get full leather or real leather. The full leather we have on today's model is pretty realistic feeling, and the seats are pretty comfortable overall. Now that we are up to highway speeds, let's go ahead and discuss some highway driving dynamics. First, I'll give you a sound level sample. This isn't the best sample because the rain is making a lot of noise, especially at these speeds, but I can confirm that the C-Class has a very well insulated cabin. I was filming in a very loud environment earlier, but as soon as I stepped in the cabin, all of the noise went away. So based off what I experienced there, I can imagine that the C-Class would have a very quiet cabin even at highway speeds. Now this probably isn't the first car that comes to mind when you think of a road trip vehicle. You would probably think of the GLS in the Mercedes lineup or a Chevrolet Suburban. But if you were to take this on a long road trip, I think you would enjoy every minute of it. The seats are very comfortable even in the back. There's a good amount of space in both the first and second row. The sound system is pretty good overall. It's nothing fancy, but it definitely gets the job done. You have built-in navigation if you pay extra, so that doesn't come as standard equipment, but of course there's wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and the driver assistance tech is pretty good. Now this car has all the basic stuff as standard equipment: adaptive cruise control, blind spot monitoring, pre-collision, all that good stuff. But you can pay an extra $2,000 if you want some more advanced driver assistance tech. This would be great if your commute is really long, because this car can have active lane changing assist, active steering assist, the blind spot monitoring is going to be more advanced, and it will probably drive itself in traffic jams. That more advanced system is not meant to be a hands-free system, but if you do have to take your hands off the wheel for some time, it can definitely steer for you and keep you safe. I think that if you have a longer commute, or if you're going to be road tripping often in this vehicle, I would definitely check that box, because it is definitely going to be worth $2,000. Now that we are off the highway, let me go ahead and talk about some more things like handling and the transmission. Now during this rainfall, I'm very thankful for the 4Matic all-wheel drive system. It's keeping the car planted, giving me all the grip that I need, and giving me all the confidence that I want to have. Now, you don't have to get 4-wheel drive if you don't want to. You can still get a 2-wheel drive C-Class. That will start at $48,450 US. But if you live in a state like Michigan, Illinois, Minnesota, you probably want to get this because you always see sedans stuck on the road trying to get through snow or something like that. So it will just give you extra peace of mind, and plus it's only an extra $2,000. Let's go ahead and test out the handling next. I'm going to take the corner up ahead a little bit faster than normal, but maybe not as fast as other test drives because of the road conditions. And the C-Class handles pretty well. There really isn't anything bad about the way this handles. And of course, if you want the best handling C-Class, go ahead and get the C63 SE Performance. That is going to give you the most stiff chassis, and it's going to handle the best out of the bunch. But for the base model, that's not bad at all. That gave me all the confidence I wanted, and it would definitely do fine in an emergency situation. As far as the transmission is concerned, the C-Class has a 9-speed automatic transmission. This is in a number of Mercedes-Benz products, and I have to say it is amazing. It isn't clunky at all. You do not notice the shifts from the 9-speed, and when you put your foot down, it is very quick to downshift. It gives you great performance, and I know it is tuned a little bit differently in the C63 and C43 for extra performance, but it keeps the revs pretty low and it's just very quickly, so there really isn't a lot more that you can ask for. But we are nearing the end of our test drive in the C300 4Matic. Overall, this would be an amazing daily driver if you have an extra $50,000 laying around. It has a very luxurious cabin for the price tag, a good amount of space in the trunk and the second row, and the driving experience is amazing. Overall, I think this is an amazing daily driver, but what do you think? Would you buy this over the BMW 3 Series or the Acura TLX? Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.